Good morning and welcome back to Plannercraft. I'm Natalie, and for a change today, I'm not going to be saying very much. Okay, so we have something a bit new for you today. Morning, Linda. I'm going to do my hellos first, and then I will show you what we're going to be talking about today. Morning, Tracy. Morning, Carol. I'm a bit hyper today. A bit excited because we've got something really fun. Really fun. And morning, Deb.
Morning, Joyce. Morning, Sue.
Morning. So if you're watching, don't be afraid to say hi and let us know that you're watching. We should be able to see comments on all three streams today. So hello to our viewers on YouTube and also on Twitch. Yeah, I'm just a little excited, Tracy. And a little nervous, but a little excited. Okay, so shall we start? And good morning, Havana.
6 a.m. in Connecticut. Oh,
Cool, blimey. That's being eager.
yes, that's dedicated.
So, we have the foil shield, and it's almost finished state, isn't it? So we're just missing 2 inserts because they didn't finish printing till 9 o'clock last night. So, welcome to the foil shield. What is it and what does it do? Over to you, Ian. Your baby.
Okay, so the foil shield is designed for all your electronic cutters. It's not just for the scan and cut. It's designed that it will fit on a 12 by 12 mat, and it's there to protect your mat from when you're foiling. So the idea being that you have a 1-inch border around the outside, and then we have now 6 inserts that fit within.
Yes, so this is insert number 4.
Number 4, yes.
So I'm going to be demonstrating this one today. And we have...
Do you ask which one's which?
I am going to ask you which one's which. You'll be pleased to know that when you get them, they're going to say which one's which.
So 5 by 7 is number 1.
So that's number 1.
The A5 slim line is number 2.
Number 2.
By process of elimination, that one's number 3.
There we go. And 5 and 6 were still pressing last night. It must be yours, Tracy, because we're okay this end.
Yeah, we've actually got a good signal this morning.
Yeah, it's actually doing better than it normally does. So, what's the thought behind it? So, each plate has a particular size that you are going to be frequently using in your card making and scrapbooking. So, we tried to cater as much for the card makers as for the scrapbookers and the journalists. So we have lots of inch sizes. So we have a 3 by 3 and a 4 by 4, and our circles are sized in inches currently. But we also have all of our A sizes. So we have A6 and A5. We have a new slim line, which is the 3.5 by 8.5. And we have 6 by 4 for your scrapbookers, and 7 by 5 is also a popular photo format.
And on the other set, there's also a DL and a artist trading coin circle as well, which is 2.5 inches.
Yep. So we've pretty much covered the bases for most people. So we've got something for the traders, we've got something for the journalists, something for the scrapbooking, and something for the card making. But it's not going to stop there, is it?
No.
So, on one of the other plates, we have an 8 by 8 insert. And into that, we are going to be putting some further inserts. So, one of the things that we have planned is a stamping jig. So, you're going to be able to take that out and use that in your stamp platform. Or you can use it in the desk, on your desk, in the frame, and go from there.
Is there an A4 size?
Not currently.
Not currently, but it's one that we are looking at doing, Tracy.
Yeah. Just because with A4, if we were to do that on a 12 by 12 mat, it would actually be going more or less up to this edge, so it's just not quite wide enough to fit the 12 by 12 and still have enough body there to actually keep it as a frame.
It's only 1 mil thick, so even with the insert, it's still only 1 millimeter thick. So it does go through all the machines. It is very, very finely done, and we have to say a big thank you to Andy and Laura from Crafted by Miles, as they have done this printing for us. And hopefully they're watching.
Yep.
They haven't said hello yet, so
They may be hiding.
they're hiding somewhere.
But they've pulled out the stops, haven't they, to get this for today. So thank you very much.
Yeah. And for sale, Joyce has asked about purchasing. We've got a link up. There will be links going up everywhere later, Joyce. I can't put directly up at the moment in the stream, but I will try in a second once I'm back at the computer. I'm over here at the moment. And there's Andy. Hey!
Hi, Andy!
So we are selling in 3 different sets. So each of the sets do have savings. And I'll start with the basic set. So your basic set comes with the outer frame.
This bit.
Set 2, 3, and 4.
So
it's everything except the A5.
Okay. Just so I get these in the right order. There you go.
No, otherwise not including 5x7. Sorry, it's got the A5.
You're getting me mixed up now. There you go.
And that set is what we're saying called the basic set, and that is £20, and that saves you £4. I'll tell you why it saves £4 shortly after. There's the top-up set, which is set 1, 5, and 6 of the templates. That includes that one, which is the 5x7, 6x4 and a 3-inch circle. Then set 5 is an 8x8 inch square, and then set 6 is a 5x5 inch square. Your DL card, which is 99mm by 210, and your artist trading coin circle, which is 2.5 inches. And that's £15. You save £1.50 on that set. And then the big set, which is the full set, which currently contains everything. So that's all 6 sets of templates and the outer frame, and that is £30. But you save £10.50. So it's got a good saving on it. There is also a £5 shipping fee, which is included. Well, it's not included in the price, so they are priced at 25, 20, and 35. That includes your postage then on Buy Me a Coffee.
Yeah.
We've had to include the £5 postage, unfortunately, because
the size.
They have to go to small parcels, so we have to put the postage on.
We have worked out international postage for those of you that need it, but we are not going to be listing it for international postage on Buy Me a Coffee just yet. Just because we're aware that Andy has 3 printers doing this at the moment. Yeah. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Andy.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people want, but the reason, and the other thing is, we can do the inserts individually and the outer frame. So if you do happen to break one, or you need another one, or you want...
You don't have to buy a whole full set.
So the outside frame on its own is £7.50, and the inserts we're selling at £5.50. So that's where your savings come in. So you can see that if you buy the full set, that's where you get your savings from. So with the full set, you actually get 17 different apertures
that you can use.
We have 5 printers. If need be. So in full, for all 17, so you get a 5x7 inch square or rectangle, your 6x4 rectangle, a 3-inch circle. You get your A5 rectangle, and your slim line, which is 3.5 by 8.5. Then we also have your A6, 4x4, 3x3, and a 5-inch circle. And then we have on the one that's on the desk, which is the 6x6, the 4-inch circle.
Oh, I'm going to go to the circle.
It's in the list, it's on here. So, the business card, which is 55 by 85mm, and your 3x4. Then you have an 8x8 square, and you have a 5x5 square, your DL card, and your 2.5-inch circle, which is your artist trading coins.
Yeah.
Good modelling. Thank you, Natalie. It's wonderful. So
That used to be my other day job.
there it is up on Buy Me a Coffee. If people do want to go to there, I will put a link up in a moment to so it's in the chat. I'll try to anyway.
Yeah.
I'll put it on Facebook. Yeah.
So I did actually sneak all the pre-orders up yesterday. So we already have the milestone of our first order, don't we? Yeah.
Yes, we do. First two.
Okay, so now you want to see it in action. So you're going to grab your normal cutting mat.
Nikki, don't tell me I've done all that and you've missed it.
Oh no!
Watch it back because there's lots.
There's lots of information about different apertures that we are doing. So there's 17 different apertures that you can fit, and also the one that Ian didn't mention is obviously the actual aperture in the outer frame itself. So this is a 10 by 10 square. So if you are working on a 10 by 10 inch layout, you can actually go straight onto your layout with your outer frame on its own. So with that in mind, let's get my cutting mat. So the whole point is your frame is there to protect your mat. And I keep trying to put my logo in the wrong corner. So you should always do it so that your PC logo goes to the bottom left hand corner. And you're going to pop it onto your mat. Now if you get it slightly off around these edges, it's not going to matter too much. Just make sure you give it a good press down. Now obviously if you're working on a slightly older mat, you're probably going to eventually want to retack it for this one. And I'm going to go for my plate number 4. And I'm going to slide that in. That's just going to go straight on top. Make sure that it's all clicked in all the way round so that you're not accidentally having things lifting. You can then decide which design you want to do first. So I'm going to go and do a 6 by 6 and pop that into my aperture. So just make sure you get lined up against the edge. Oh yes, pre-orders are limited. I should have said that, sorry. So there are only 10 8. Yeah. Well, there's only 8 on the full set at the moment, isn't there? There's 10 on the set 1 and 10 on set 2.
Right, so the first link that I've just put up is the full set. And I'll put up the other 2 as well.
So the reason that I've done a limit is so we can try and drip feed it to Andy rather than him being overwhelmed with 30 orders at once. And you got going, but my printers are smoking. Okay, so with your card in place, you can then do everything you would normally do with a cutting mat. You can do a background scan. You could still do a direct cut if you want to use the foiling quill with that. You can still do a scan to cut later if you want to, if there's something that will enable you to do with your particular piece. And then bring that back in.
Just getting if anybody is an international order and does want it, drop us a private message and
we'll sort it. So now what I'm going to do before I put my foil on is I'm going to load into my machine. So just go in that load. Okay. So one thing I have done already is I've lifted my scan glass into the up position. So that's only for DX users that want me to do that. It's just going to give you that extra bit of clearance, just that if it does click, then it's going to not snag anything. So that's a good one to do. Okay, so let's decide what we're going to foil today, shall we? So I'm going to go into pattern and let's go into our drawing. Should I go for a frame here?
If you want to, yeah, you got nice.
We've got that nice little frame there. Now, I'm going to switch over to inches just because it's a little bit easier for me to understand what I'm using on the Mac. And that's probably about right. So I'm going to add that to my Mac. I'm going to do a background scan. I'm going to tell it to go. Okay, now what I am going to do just while we are working is I'm just going to support my mat a little. So let me just put a little bit of a... It's going to need to be a little bit taller than that. Should I pinch it just? There we go. So just while I'm doing this, doesn't have to be level. It's just holding it up there for me. I'm going to drag this across. Now, if you're struggling to see because it's going to be on a dark surface, you can change that so that you can see that scan a bit clearer. And then we can move that more. One of the joys of drawing over cutting, you've got the nice clear blue line. And if you need to, you can go into move and just nudge. Now, one thing I might do is just stretch that a little. I'm going to go to resize. It's not going to let me stretch. Oh well, okay. Because you don't want to be offsetting this one the way I usually get around it. So, let's bring that down just a touch.
Do we need to mention? Very quickly, so I can see that a couple of people have ordered. So thank you very much for your orders. That's much appreciated.
Only 5 of the 4 set left. Okay. Andy.
But beware, these are still prototype at the moment. They're not the finished product.
So when you get yours, it will look slightly different. Because even yesterday we were going, we'll just change that text so it's a bit more legible.
Yeah, so there's still a few little changes. It's not much, but there are little changes that we're still going to make. But they will look pretty much, the colours are right, so it will still have this lovely marble edge and you'll still have the lovely green insert.
Yeah.
But they will be slightly different colours, so there may be a little bit of lead time on getting finished product and then getting them out to you, but they will be as soon as they are out. There will be regular updates coming out. So
it has its own email address.
Yeah. If you've gone to the Buy Me a Coffee, you'll note there is an email address for it, which is foilshield@plannercraft.uk. So you can drop an email there if you want any updates, or if you want to check anything, just drop us an email at that one. It's already set up to be monitored, so if there's any questions, if you want to ask anything, just drop us a message and we will get back to you.
So if it ends up that everybody wants the full kit, I may just swap the availability of the basic and the...
You can do another background scan.
Yeah, just to check the tape. So, because we've applied tape to our foil, we're going to go OK and do another background scan. So that way we can be aware if it's going to go over our tape. Because I think I'm maybe a bit heavy handed with the tape there. So we've got a few tweaks that we just want to iron out, and then production can start, can't we?
Yeah.
It's just little things. So on our background scan, we can see that my tape is just touching just on that side there. So what I'm going to do is just very gently just get that off.
And this is the advantage as well, isn't it? Because it's plastic, you're not ripping any cards, you're not ripping any...
You're not pulling the sticky off your mat.
No.
And we can just readjust. So, it should hopefully...
Next, which foil are we going to use? Which foil are we going to use?
I think I'm going to go for the bold, because the bold always looks fab.
So do you want to say about this as well? Because obviously Andy won't know what this is.
Yeah, so this is going to be the first time that Andy sees it in use. So we have 3 different quill nibs that we can choose from.
Let me swap camera. There you go.
So we have the standard, which is like the middle one. And this is the adapter that the kit comes with. Then we have the bold. So you can see it has a much broader tip. And this is using one of the 3D thumbprints holders. And likewise, this is the fine in a 3D thumbprint holder. So the reason that I've had to use this is I've got the original stuck on the standard. So when it comes to using it on most of the way, I will have to be happy with just the bold and the fine. So what you do is you plug it in, you wait for it to heat up. So this is the bit where you twiddle your thumbs and...
Yeah. So we have it attached to a USB battery pack, which is the real memory keeper one, which is the one which is supplied with it, and it just heats up. So you can see the little blue light on the top, and that tells you that it's warming up. It doesn't change colour. Watch for the notepad. So, whee!
Yes. I was going to say, where did it pick that up from? Might be time to give the smelling cut a little cleaner.
Got a can of this.
Yeah. So I'm just going to press that down there. Just because it's floating in the down. We don't want the tape to catch anywhere while we're waiting.
Doesn't take long, does it?
No, it doesn't take long. Not really.
I think that's surprising.
It's getting there, but not quite. I'll start doing that in. Now, one of the other things I would say is it does come with like a little metal spatula that you can slide underneath. But when we tried that, we did find it had a habit to tip, which actually put it in contact with the nib. So if anything, it transferred the heat more to the mat.
So it speeds it.
That's so we'll go. Okay. So now it's going to ask you what you want to do with that image. We want to draw it. So there is a separate foil setting on the scanner cut, but that's for use with their foil kit, which is glue based rather than heat based. So this one is definitely aimed more at the heat based option. You reckon? I usually do -2. Yeah, and put it. Oh, and the other thing is, make sure your speed is at 1. Ready?
Those are the motion will stop moving when cutting too.
Yes. So
it has so many uses, not just for foil. I mean, it's called foil shield because that was what it was primarily designed for.
But it's going to go so far beyond it.
Yeah.
And that's just because I have the 3D thumbprints holder on my fold nib. No, because it should be up for when it's drawing. moving around. So hopefully,
Hold the camera.
I've got the camera. You tell. There we go. That's it there.
No, so I can see the screen behind. That's it.
Alright, okay. I was going by what I can see on the screen.
Yes, I'm going by what people can see. But yes, I mean, we've come up with a list of things that would be good for me. Things like batch card making and
Stenciling.
anything that requires something to be in the same place for every time that you use it. It's ideal because it gives you that frame that you can just slot your card into and away it goes.
Yep, so if you're doing wedding stationery, it's going to have uses in that multiple. One of the other things that I think we've got on one of the items is that you are going to have the option to have custom inserts made as well.
Yes.
So if there is something that you are doing where you need to do hundreds of something, and you want to have inserts that will help you do that, then we can work with you to actually develop those for you.
Yeah. But obviously we're thinking that if there's say you're making gift tags, wasn't it, we said, or
yes,
and you can fit say 12 to a 10 by 10 sheet, you could have that template that holds your tags in place, so you know they're all in the same place every time, and you can have 10 cut out of your 12 by 12 sheet, and then we can just get that printed for you.
Yeah, if you're working with
Andy there.
yeah, if you're working with something like the X-Quill, for instance, and you want to do a bunch of key rings, then you could work with us to get a keyring insert made, so you can do it that way. So it's basically whenever you want to do something in the same place over and over, then it's really going to come into its own. Well, it's funny you should say about needing more foil, Deb.
Because we have some of that too.
Yep.
So for those of you that don't know, we do have a range of foils that we sell. And we have white,
which is what we're using at the moment.
Which is silver. We also have gold, rose gold, gunmetal, silver, a nice 2 blues, don't we?
Yeah. And 2 purples, because we couldn't decide which one.
Yeah, we couldn't decide. And we are looking at 2 new ones, which Natalie's going to show you in a moment.
Which are going to be our Christmas pack with the gold and
purple.
Silver and purple, wasn't it?
Yes, that we did. So those packs, well, the Christmas pack isn't up yet because we haven't ordered the red and the green. So,
but we've got a little sample so we can show you.
So we should show those momentarily.
I've been really good, and I've already cut my card as well. Do you have black? I have some black.
Yes, we do have some black. The black is very expensive for us to purchase at the moment, but we do have a.
We tend to sneak it in as a little freebie into the thank yous for the foil orders. So generally, if you place a foil order, you get something that you're not expecting as well.
You want to check, Chris?
Okay, so I'm going to pop that out on my machine just because we don't want it to stay heating in the machine. And then we can unveil. And perfect. We love the white.
Morning, Delcy.
Morning, Delcy. So, how much has Delcy missed? Everything. So, hi Delcy, welcome to the Foil Shield. So, as it currently is, which is somewhat extended from when we did our initial sneak peek from our prototype.
Ooh, Carol has an announcement.
Ooh. Let me scroll up. It is really nice. So the white foil is really good for doing anything that's on dark card, obviously. But you can also use it onto white card and actually watercolour over the top. You can use your dye inks over the top and it will actually act as a resist. If you are going over with pigment inks, the pigment inks will tend to go over the top of it. So try and stick to your dye inks and your watercolours and you'll be well away. Okay, so you've got to let Carol know a good time for when she can make her announcement.
She can do it today. It's fine.
Yeah.
It'll be a day of announcements if you want to announce something, Carol. You're more than welcome to join my party.
So I'm going to take this off my map very carefully.
Readjust the
Yes, please
camera a
do.
little bit.
I can stand up while you're doing that. And there you are, boiling absolutely perfect. I do love the white. You know it's always going to be stellar.
The advantage is if you wanted to repeat that, if you had another piece of foil to match, you just put your next piece of card in.
And off you go, basically. So you can just keep going and going and going. That is the idea. But if I do that, then you won't get to see the new foil. So I'm going to take a 3x4 this time because our sample was fairly small. And I'm going to pop that in there.
Right. Obviously the two-pack.
We don't have a 2-pack.
Don't have a 2-pack. So this is the new updated version that we've released today.
So this particular insert is in the full pack and it's also in the basic.
Yeah. You make the biggest saving on the full pack because you do save £10.50 on the.
Thank you.
On the full pack from the cost of the different bits. So if you're looking on Buy Me a Coffee, there should be 3 options. You have the full set, you have the basic set, and you also have the top-up set, which is the one that has the 3 frames that aren't included in the basic set. So the full set is £35 including postage, the basic set is £25 including postage, and the top-up set is £20 including postage.
Your brain went blank then.
And I forgot how much it is.
What should I go for?
As most of you know, I'm trying to design my own shadow box. I now have drum roll, please. I have windows.
Yay! Finally, the windows have made an appearance. So I'm going to go for the Christmas tree, just because I can. Maybe take it down just a little. Just a little. And we can decide which bits of our tree we want to do first. So I'm going to go for my tree. And I can go OK. I can add that to my mat. Now it still has the scan from the last one. That's fine. We can do a fresh scan. Or, because we're using a new aperture, I can just put that in there. Okay, that's a little bit snug, so I'm just going to bring it in just a little, I think. Now, what I am going to do is I'm going to reset and go back. The reason being, if I resize it at that point, it's going to lose it when I bring in the next bit. So, let's go down to the bottom. Should I do the simpler tree?
I would. Yeah.
Let's go simple. So there's our 2 pieces of tree. Oh, take it down in size first.
So drop it down to your height of 3 inches and that'll bring your width down.
Oh, not like that. There we go. Again. So there's our tree. We're going to add that to our mat. And you could just use this one. I'm just going to use just one piece. The reason being, I want to just literally draw that section of the tree out of one piece of foil. I'm going to go okay. Okay. I'm going to move it. Like so.
Vinegar is a good one.
I'm going to use my nudge button just to bring that back into the middle and go, okay. Maybe down just a touch actually. Just in case we decide we want to put a star on top of the tree.
Oh, very pretty too.
So I'm going to go, okay. Okay. And now, the green colour. Okay. I will reach across. And here is our green. So gorgeous. I'm going to lay that over the top. And this is where I'm going to go, but I didn't cut my masking tape for this one. Yeah. So usually with masking tape, what I do is I leave it attached, and then I can use the waste from my foil on other projects, so you don't really waste a lot. So just for today, I'm going to take that off there. So.
It is.
It is. And if you do a foil order, you'll probably get a sneak of another shade of green too, because we're lucky enough to have samples from 2 different greens, aren't we?
Yeah.
The other green is slightly more expensive.
It's not too bad, is it? So
It's not too bad, so if you like it, let us know. We can get that in stock too.
probably rip this one on the top of one.
Stick this one here. It doesn't matter too much about the top and the bottom, because it's not clear there. So. And again, we can do our background scan. Yeah, that's what I need, really, Carol.
What's your bottle? Potentially.
Yeah.
Time to flip back to so you can see the scan.
So, clear scan. There's our scan, and it's going to be a little bit dark, so again, don't be afraid to just flick it back round. You can double check. I think I'm happy with that. It's clear with the tape. We know it's clear with the frame, so we should be good to go.
Still hot. I didn't unplug it.
You didn't unplug it, okay? No. So I'm going to pop that into my machine. Lock it down. Oh, shall I fill it?
Yeah, fill it. Go on.
Okay, we'll fill it. So we go to Object Edit, and we're going to press on the fill, turn it on, choose your pattern. Are we going to go solid?
Yeah.
See how it goes. So it may not be a perfect solid, but we will see how it goes.
What size are you doing?
I can't remember what my line width was set to, so we'll see.
Okay. I don't think it's very wide. It's quite thin.
So again, we're going to go to draw. Same settings as last time. Up we go.
Okay, do you want to flick the camera back over and I'll readjust it again?
Okay. Well, that's a weird angle.
Yeah, it's because it's not actually straight in the hole. You know it.
So, as I was saying, the plan is to then do further inserts. So we're going to have ones that can work both on the mat, on your desk, and also in your stamp platform. So if you have a larger stamp platform like the Tim Holtz one, or an open-sided one like the Studio Light one, you're going to be able to use them in there. So you're going to have things like the ability to make a reef, for instance. You're going to have border guides, lots of fun bits and pieces that you can play with. And at some point, particularly for things like board guides, there will be cut files that go with it, so that you have the pieces that actually cut out just the right size to pop in and use the guides. So, if you have any questions, I'm watching comments. Usually, this is Ian's seat.
I'm keeping it.
Yeah. So the other colour of foil that we are launching today is a nice red. So we can use that in a minute to create the little bucket for the tube.
I know why Carol was struggling with the window.
Go on.
No.
Oh, that was bad. That was an IT joke if ever there was one.
Lots of people that went, meow.
No, we all groaned. It's weird having the old graphics work.
Nobody's commented about the old time graphics.
Nobody noticed it stopped snowing finally in September.
Eventually.
Just in time for me to make the snow again.
It does take a bit of time when you're doing it for fill, doesn't it?
Yeah, because you have to set it to speed 1 so that you're getting the maximum heat through the foil. It does take it a little bit longer when it goes to fill.
Doing quite a good job. Not very much for long yet.
That's good then.
Might be a little bit.
Yeah, he was. There we go. So let's take that one out first of all, even though we're going to come back and that's not bad for a fill, you know. I'll pinch that tape for the red as well.
From the height that it is down to
I'm going to be sneezing green sparkly bits for that.
Push that bit away.
Yeah. I'm just going to step back for a moment. I just off the lint roll through the air, try and get the sparkly bit. It's not good, is it? No, my trousers are sparkly too. It's one of those you like glitter, don't you, Mum? There we go. Okay, next bit.
You got it?
I got it. So, next part. Let's see if it can be clever enough to put it in the right place for me. So, because we want to line this piece up with our design that we've already done, you're going to want to do yet another scan. Now, you'll be pleased to know that when you're working with your machine on your desk, your frame stays stuck to your mat. Just mine's perched on the shelf, so I can manage to get a few bits and other pieces. So, with our tree now there, we can move the base of our tree. Now, if we go to edit and zoom, we can zoom in. I'm going to go once more up to 400%. We're going to scroll down using the buttons on screen, and then we can use the top buttons to actually move the object. So I didn't get too far out. We can go OK, and we can even add, try and add a star on top.
A red one.
Yeah. Pattern, basics. And we're just going to go for that one. We also don't need it that big. We're going to go right down. And maybe not quite that small. It usually stops before it gets there.
Tracy's reading my mind.
We can again move that across. Go to edit, move, zoom, and again to make it bigger so we can see where our tree is. So we can see that we've got our tip of our tree just there. So if I go try and line it up just there, we should be away enough from our edge.
Yeah, only thinking red because we're going to use the new red and
yep.
show it. So we got two on.
Plus, I've already cut the red. I'm going to go OK. Now that we've got that where we need to. And our red. So this is a glossy metallic red. It is gorgeous. Okay. And try and position that nicely.
There's a Scorpio red. Yay! Yeah, I thought we'd been Scorpio red.
So there.
Yeah. That's mine.
This is going to start losing its thickness now because it's got a little bit of oil on there from the green and my fingers. So we can go okay. Okay. Probably not. Oh, I haven't filled it in.
No.
Nearly.
I'm just going
to turn that on. Go okay. And I will do the base too. You don't have to, but okay. If you suddenly hear an owl, that's because Ian's trying to do himself an injury. You've gone into cramp. Oh. You got yourself all untruly stuck now, haven't you? So, again, locked in place. Yeah, it's only little. So your foils always go colour side up, for those of you that are new to foiling. And you do need to use a heat activated foil, which all of ours are. So you may have heard people talk of toner foil before. That tends to be kind of heat activated, but not so much as the foil that you use with your foiling dies, or with your foil quill if you have some of your foil quill foils left. Wasn't it? Okay. So once you're done, you're going to want to unplug your quill, let it cool down, and Ian's holding that for me. I can't I now? So I've done everything I'm going to do. Take those off. There we go. Whoa. That one just needs a little longer. Wait.
You can draw it. It still looks like a stump of a tree because it looks ragged and stumpy.
Yes. I like the effect. So we can actually doodle into that if you want to. If you want to do some little gems to go on top, you can do that too. So, you saying that? One colour I haven't got is red. It's probably been quite good, but I have some gold. So if you wanted to, you could pop on some little 3D baubles. And that could be your card topper done. Ta-da! Oh yes, definitely. It makes it so much easier with a foil shield because you're not having to worry about where your foil's going because it's like, well, it's going to go through there. Rather than you having to think, well, do I need to go over the foil and then, oh no, I'm going to get it on my mat. Or accidentally get it on the mat like Ian did, which is why foil shield started, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was the whole reason it started, was we foiled a mat. And it's there to protect it so that your investment in your mats lasts longer, especially given that the scan and cut ones in particular tend to be a little bit more pricey than the ones for the silhouette or the cricket. So hopefully you've had fun, and if you have any other questions on the foil quilt and want to ask Ian, you can either do that very quickly now, or you can reach out through the Plannercraft page, and both of us tend to get those messages so that we can keep an eye out for you. For those of you that have ordered, thank you very much. Very, very, very much. And we will get those to you as soon as we can, with Andy's help. Yeah. And I will take some photos as well and put those up on the group in a bit.
Just to show that tree.
Yeah, because at the moment it's got a bit of glare on it, hasn't it? So if I take the glare off, there you go. So you can see nice reflection. Thank you, Deb. Thank you, Thea. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Delcy. And thank you, Joyce. We will be back Monday at 11. When I'm hoping to do a bit of a project for the week. So what I'm thinking is a nice autumn wreath. So if that is something you might want to join in with, then we'd love it if you crafted along. So what you will need is some leaf stamps, some leaf dies, and of course your scan and cut. Or If you haven't got a scanner cut, but you have a silhouette, you can use your silhouette too. And if you haven't got one of those, you can use a cricket. So, all welcome. And you're welcome, Nikki. And have a great weekend. And we will see you Monday. And hopefully Andy won't have.
He's passed out somewhere. I think he's not responding. Or scissors. Yeah.
Yeah, or scissors. So take care and bye.